All right, here we are at Talking Ball with Pat Leonard, special edition. Super Bowl Radio Row, New Orleans. You know who he is, the man, the myth, the legend, former Giants draft pick, Arizona Cardinals stud offensive guard, Will Hernandez. Will, great to see you. Thanks for being here, man.
Been a long time, man. It's good time.
You miss us in New York or what?
I miss y'all, man. I miss you a little more.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I got to kick it off first. Remind all of you, we're sponsored here by Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink, Salad for Men in Midland Park, New Jersey, as well as the State 98 Coffee and My Bookie. When I think of Will Hernandez, I think of great football. I think of toughness. I also think of Batman. Could you share with our viewers the Batman statue story? Because I've never laughed this hard in the Giants locker room.
Yeah, man. So as soon as I, came out of college, got to New York, first time I ever had money. So I got a little crazy with it. I was walking around downtown, actually with my offensive line coach from high school, nice boys. Shut up, yeah. But we were walking around Midtown. Basically, I read that. We run into this comic by accident. So I'm a big Batman fan. You walk in there, and they just have all these cool replicas and all these cool action figures of different characters, mainly Marvel. But there was a Batman action figure, 6'5", whole foam, very well done piece of 6'5" Batman. And so we're just like, we might have had a few movies at the time. Sure. And we were just like, I need this in my living room. And he agreed with us. So what we did is, Matt bought him and split in half. So we had to carry him out the door. I had to take an Uber back to my apartment in New Jersey.
You hadn't thought about how you were getting it.
No. We all figured this out. So everybody knows you don't drive into New York City. So I had to call an Uber. I go into the Uber. I open the back door to put Batman inside. All he saw was a pair of legs and a torso. We were kind of blocking it. I think this guy thought we had like an audience. He got really scared. We had to calm him down a little bit, tell him, hey man, like it's all good, it's just an action figure, look at Batman. Okay. Put him in the car, took him to my apartment, took him off to my living room. He's been there with me ever since.
So you brought him out to Arizona. He's there now?
Yeah, he's back. He's back with me in Arizona. That's just story house. As soon as you walk in, there's a second floor.
Yeah.
He's creeping over the balcony, and he greets everybody out there.
Absolutely love it. So much character to you. So Mijo things. I follow you on Instagram. I follow you all over, and all I hear is Mijo things. All I see is Mijo things. It feels like more of a vibe and a lifestyle than just a line. Am I right about this?
Exactly. It's a vibe. It's a lifestyle. It's a mentality. It's a movement. We are starting it off through a barrel, a clothing line. We're throwing it on merch. We're selling that. But in reality, what it is the mission behind it is to have kids and have people feel incorporated into something that means a lot. And what I mean by that is, I'm a football player. I come from Mexican descent. There's not very many Latino players in the NFL. We all know this. So why not create some sort of platform, put a little bit of swag into it, and let a lot of these Hispanic football players that are on the rise, because there's a lot more Hispanic players in high school, Pee-wee, college nowadays than there ever was. Why not give them a platform in the NFL created by somebody just like them that was in their shoes at one point, and make it a cool factor, right? So I want to bridge. Basically, my mission is to bridge the gap between Hispanic Latino players and the NFL, and bridge that gap and show them that, like, hey, it's possible to be a Hispanic player in the NFL. It's possible to be playing for a long time, like I have, and it's possible that you can do it too. Here, take this hat. You're a part of this. The only people that are going to be rocking this merch are people that have that mentality, that drive, that like Mijo mentality. And I talk a lot about Mijo and Mexican and Latino players, because that's what I am. But it's not limited to Hispanic players. Mijo mentality is global. Anybody that throws on a Mijo hat or has a dream to play in the NFL or has a dream to even just pursue college education, whatever it is that they want to do, they have a platform here with Mijo things that they can rock and be proud of and feel a part of something along with everybody else who has that same.
You have an uplifting presence. Are these some of the Mijos, the amigos in tow with you here?
Yes, sir. These are the Mijos. These are all my college buddies. We all play ball together at UTEP, Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we've been day ones. We're actually, when we started this thing together, I couldn't take all the credit. We all started together as like a fun idea. We called ourselves Mijos. Started, designing some merch, and then it really took off. And we really started taking it seriously.
So these are the ride or dies. The core four. This is the core four. All right. So speaking of Mijos, Saquon Barkley, former teammate, Giants teammate, you have to be happy for him seeing his success. What is it like for you to see what he has turned his career into, what he has become since going to Philadelphia, and how he has performed on the biggest stage so far leading up to Super Bowl 59?
No, yeah, man. I mean, first of all, I'm extremely happy and proud of Saquon. We came in together. It was our first time ever being in the NFL together. So, it's cool seeing his progress, seeing how he grew over the years that I was in New York. And then even after I left, I kept up with them. We kept up with each other up on social media. We kept seeing each other grow. He texted me when I got injured, So we've been keeping contact, and it's so cool to see, especially him personally. He's always been that competitor. He's always wanted to win Super Bowl. He's had that hunger since I met him. So to see it finally happen for him is awesome. And then from the other aspect of it too, you talk about this thing finally happened for her. I mean, it wasn't just an accident. Saquon definitely knew that offensive line was going to play a big part in his success as a team and as an individual. So what did he do? He went to Philly. The best offensive line. Those guys have been together for years. A lot of those guys, are great players. And so we go hand in hand. We talk about football being the ultimate team sport. That's exactly the proof right there. Offensive line needs a great running back, and a great running back needs a great offensive line to make things like this happen.
One thing I've noticed, Will, being around the league longer, and I took it for granted at first for offensive line, there is a level of toughness that a guy like you has, Nick Gates has it, that, listen, you have to be tough to play in the NFL and play online, but there's like another level of edge that I think it requires to like really dominate another man on a football field. Is that something like you can't teach? Like you either have or you don't as an offensive lineman, or
yes and no. Yes and no. I say you have to have. I think if you don't already naturally have it, it's something that you develop through experiences, and then you really find out who you are. So, for example, if there's a kid that gets bullied, you would assume that kid that's getting bullied doesn't have what it takes to stand up for himself, doesn't have what it takes to be that guy, right? But through that experience, that kid can be turned into a monster. And I mean that in a good way, as in like him getting bullied can teach him a valuable lesson that, hey, I felt like this, I felt like that because of what you did. I'm not going to let you stick up. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of guys in the league, that probably got bullied as a kid, and you would never expect that from them. But they took that experience, and instead of just complaining and pouting about it, they took it and ran with it. So yeah, I think a lot of guys have it naturally, which is great, and I think a lot of guys it teaches them that that's what you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Interesting, really insightful. And I think one thing I noticed too about the good offensive lines is that attitude. Like if you're dominant and aggressive and nasty, it tends to bleed into the rest of the team. Like teams that are tough have a tough line. Teams that are not tough, their line is not tough.
You talk about the ultimate competitive sport. Everybody in there is a competitor, or else you're not in the same. You have to be a competitor.
Yeah.
So what happens when a competitor sees someone else lifting more weights than them, even though they're teammates? Naturally, they want to do better than that guy. And then this guy sees that, and then naturally he wants to do better than that guy. And it just creates all this like really good natural competition. It's actually really good, and that's how you start building a real team. All that competitiveness driven force that happens. Which, by the way, the head coaching staff as well. And how do you listen and how do you follow someone that doesn't have that.
Great point. Heading into free agency, how's the knee?
It's doing really well right now. I'm about halfway done with my rehab.
Yeah.
From what they've told me, I'm very, very confident in it. We're weeks ahead of schedule. Trainers are very happy with me. They're very happy with me progressing. And so, it's not a matter of if I'm going to be back, if I'm going to be able to play like I was playing. I know for sure I will. This has to be right first in order for this to get right as well. So I already know I'm going to be back to where I was at. I can feel it even this early in the rehab. It's just a matter of time.
Looking forward to seeing where you land, see your success. 3 quick sponsorship segments. One is Here Comes the Boom, sponsored by Boom Chaga. I want you to predict the Boom Impact player of this coming Super Bowl. We're not going to pick the game yet, but is there a player, not an obvious one, right? We know Mahomes, Saquon, Hurts, those guys are going to be big factors. Who's going to bring the boom and impact this game that people maybe aren't looking for?
Hey, man, I'm always going to be ready for offensive line. So, I would say maybe my buddy Lane Johnson. This guy's been playing part of Hurts playing the way he does.
Have you been to the barn in South Jersey? He trains in a barn in his backyard.
No,
I
haven't.
You got to get there.
Yeah, he has a lot to be able to. But hey, man, I know it's not very possible or likely, but I'm always going to look for it off the line. We'll just go with him. If it happens, I'll be going with him.
No, for sure. And he dominates a lot of games he plays, so no question this will happen. All right, look good, feel good, play good. Brought to you by Sal Loretta for Men. Is there a teammate or a guy in the league or maybe one of the Mijos who always just looks better, dresses better, walks in, coming correct, game day ready? It could even be just somebody at work on a Monday,
Yeah, our Mijo, Josh, he's always he makes, even things you get at Nordstrom, swaggy, so we'll get to just Josh.
All right. And finally, Pat's picks by my bookie. Let's pick the game. Who do you think's going to win? Give me a little bit quick breakdown. Eagles or Chiefs?
I got to go with the offensive line. I'm most confident in. At the end of the day, if you have an offensive line that can run the ball and will, I got to go with that team.
Eagles win with their will. So do we here on Talking Ball. Will Hernandez, my man. Thanks so much for being here. A free bag for you and for all the Mijos. Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink. Natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory and antioxidants. This has been Talking Ball with Pat Leonard here on Super Bowl Radio Row in New Orleans. Chiefs, Eagles, Will Hernandez. Thanks again.
Yeah.